Hello, my beautiful little Moglets. So today I have some pretty exciting news to share, or rather leaks, I guess, since it hasn't officially been announced. But a couple days ago, Az sent me some information, some pictures, some skills of our next Moonlight hero, Apocalypse Ravi. She sounds quite interesting, so without further ado, let's get into what she actually does. We can first check out a GIF of her ultimate animation here. There's not really a ton going on. It's really just the actual animated part of it, so not the impact or the attack or how that looks or anything. Here is her herself, a little bit low res, but there she is, very cute. But yeah, let's get on with her skills. We're starting with Spectral Axe. Attacks the enemy with an axe, absorbing some of the damage dealt as health. Very much like normal Ravi, damage dealt increases proportional to the caster's max health. Soul burn for more damage. So besides being proportional to her max health, everything is almost exactly the same as normal Ravi's basic skill, because you can also soul burn it for more damage. Her second skill is actually a passive called War God's Might, quite similar again, but instead of attack, it's critical hit chance, which increases by 5% for every 20 fighting spirit. But if she gets attacked, she loses 10 fighting spirit, but also recovers health. And the amount recovered increases proportional to her max health as well. So it looks like you want to build her with a lot of HP. She begins the battle with 50 fighting spirit, and her ultimate is actually much different from normal Ravi's. Delivers divine judgment down upon the enemy. When an enemy is defeated, revives one random dead ally with 10% health before granting skill nullifier once. And for those that don't know, skill nullifier is something that allows you to take one hit without taking any damage. This is what Litica gives herself when she does her ult, and also what Moonlight Cecilia gives, I believe, the entire team. Also, this damage will increase proportional to her max health, so she can be very tanky while potentially dealing a good amount of damage, so very bruiser-like. So we can see here the skill multipliers. Skill 1 goes from a 1 attack rate to a 1.8. This is much lower than normal Ravi's, but still she does get that effect scaling with her health. So she'll take 12% of her max health normally and apply that extra onto the damage at the end. If you soul burn it, not only does the attack rate go up to 1.8, but also 20% of her health then is transferred into damage. We can see here skill 2 is the passive, and when she gets attacked, she'll heal between 8 and 10.4% of her total health, which is actually quite a big deal, because this is probably a unit you want to dump almost nearly only health into, right? Because she gets more damage as she gets more health. It's only going to take 12 to 20% of her max based on those skills there, but naturally health has another obvious effect, gonna be a lot harder to kill. I assume 10.4% you will have after Mulagoras, although I can't say that with too much confidence. But then skill 3, 20% self max health, and again, potentially revive. 1.8 attack rate is fine, I would say. I'm pretty sure it's single target, unlike Ravi's ult, but the difference is she doesn't need fighting spirit for this. I would assume there is some information missing, because it doesn't say anywhere here that she gets fighting spirit with her, you know, first or third skill. It would be a little bit weird that she gets fighting spirit when she's attacked, because it also consumes 10, but that's how fighting spirit is usually generated with normal Ravi, and I believe even with Corvus, although I might be mistaken with that, but I'm pretty sure Corvus gets also fighting spirit when he gets attacked. Regardless, so if she actually starts with 50 and there's no way to get more, that would be a little bit weird. She'd be much less effective for longer fights, probably even not super effective in arena, unless for some reason you'd bring her in like a cleave team, because you need to get through it fast. Once she has no fighting spirit, you know, all of her crit chance is gone. I mean, she also gets 5% crit chance for every 20 fighting spirit, which I would assume the max is 100 then, for a total of 25% extra crit chance. She starts with 50. I would assume she does get fighting spirit on Spectral Axe. Maybe it just doesn't say that here. Oh, okay, here we go. We didn't have this effect scaling information, now we do. We get plus 50 on her ult, which would bring us to 100, which I assume is the max fighting spirit. It usually is. And we get plus 20 with her basic. And the only way to lose fighting spirit is from getting attacked. So we can pretty easily stay at least 60 plus, you know, if she has like not horrible speed as well. Starting right off the bat, she can do her ult and get max fighting spirit. And if you're gonna have like a Corvus situation going on there where you're trying to solo an entire team, you know, I don't know for sure if she could do something like that, Probably she could though, honestly. She gets plus 20 per basic, plus 50 for ult. I don't see the cooldown here of the ult. That would be somewhat important. If you're able to kill like 1 on the enemy side and have 3 hitting you, and you know, speed is like the same for everyone, just as an easy example, you know, she'd be losing 30 fighting spirit and gaining only 20, but then she could get 50 eventually based on the cooldown of her skill 3, and potentially be healing 30% every turn of hers. That's pretty crazy. So yeah, definitely a Corvus sort of situation going on here. I know Corvus kind of got a lot of popularity after his buff for being like a soloer, and this seems like a pretty similar situation going on here. And since a decent chunk of her HP is going into extra damage, I would say the only real counter is going to be the unhealable debuff, or just super strong single target damage would probably also work. But yeah, you know, I can imagine she could potentially have a lot of HP. Personally, more interested and excited about glass cannons, but I gotta say she definitely does sound interesting as well, being nearly unkillable with that passive there. So I'd say if you can imagine a sort of dial where it goes from glass cannon to like pure tank, and then in the middle is bruiser, because that's kind of what a bruiser is. I would say normal Ravi is in between glass cannon and bruiser, and then this new Apocalypse Ravi is between bruiser and tank. I don't think she'll be able to do as much damage as normal Ravi. It's too early to tell, of course. We don't even know her base stats or how much this HP scaling is really gonna mean in like an actual game scenario, but that's just what it looks like from first impressions. But I would say she's definitely, absolutely, no question about it, gonna have a lot more self-sustain, much harder to kill. But yeah, of course, I'm going to try pulling for her. I love Ravi. I don't think I have that many mystic medals lying around, but I don't think there's an actual date she's gonna be released yet either. Probably not too long from now since she is in the game files, but actually I suppose we could just go to Mystic and check when this is ending, because most likely Ravi will be next then. Yeah, okay, so 12 days. Most likely Ravi will be in Mystic, most likely she'll be right after Cecilia. I can't imagine anything else, to be honest. I guess she will, of course, be in Moonlight as well, so there's always the possibility. And I think when we do our Mystic, you know, 2 weeks from now, we're also gonna just go ahead and do our Moonlights, because while they did say in a dev note a while back that there would be maybe some kind of safety net for Moonlight summons, they said a lot of things in that dev note that we haven't heard anything of, like this pet system, the auto chest opening feature thing we haven't heard anything about. So I'm probably just gonna stop waiting. We have like, you know, 12 of these gold, 15 these, so that's like 5 Moonlight summons, you know? Could potentially get something decent with that, and it could be auxiliary lots. Damn, he's my definitely most wanted ML unit right now. Besides that, heading back over to Discord, we also have some other pictures here. A few banners for Song of the Sea. As told me, this would be a 3-week-long event. We also have Heavy Lies the Crown, which I believe is some other event. It might be some artifact challenge, perhaps. I don't think, I mean, maybe it's a side story, but featuring her is kind of weird because she's not really a, usually side stories are for new characters, but I mean, maybe she could be a drop rate up, maybe, and have her side story like we had with, Tywin, or was it Crow? I forgot. Also, we have this picture, but if you've played through the new maps, you would know what that is already. Yeah, he mentions here, upcoming summer event, Song of the Sea. Karen is busy maintaining public order in Rheingar amidst an influx of summer travelers when she comes across a mermaid who has washed ashore. Seems to be a 3-part side story, no more info on it yet. And then we were kind of talking about the summon and the skip animation stuff, and I really couldn't understand what he was talking about, because he said every pull could be a 5-star, talking about like 3-star books can upgrade to 5-star, and I'm like, what the heck? All books can do that. So the actual animation is new. Before, like when you're getting a 4-star, right, you could skip the initial book coming up, that animation, and it would go straight to like the page flipping stuff, and then you'd see, oh, I'm getting a 4-star. Or if it was a 5-star, this little girl would show up immediately. But now, if you're getting a 4-star, you can't just tap to skip the 3-star animation, you have to watch the entire book thing, and it's like, oh, I can't skip this. That must mean it's something, you know, at least a 4-star. So you expect, of course, the pages to be flipping and this golden light shimmering, but what can still happen after that is that the little girl shows up, you know, So it's like, oh, I'm getting a 4-star. Oh man, now I'm getting a 5-star. Like before you'd know pretty much instantly you're getting a 5-star because a girl would appear immediately, you know? So I finally got what he meant. It builds a bit more suspense because obviously I haven't summoned any 5-stars since this change happened, so it was a little bit hard for me to imagine that. But he confirmed, just said, yep. I think he was watching one of his friends play and he pulled a 5-star, and I guess the little girl just came into frame like, oh, here I am, instead of just already being there, you know? Okay, but yeah, I suppose that will pretty much wrap it up for today's leaks. Basically just reading off me and Az's conversations. But yeah, some pretty interesting info there regarding Ravi. My personal thoughts on her, as with the information we have now, she does sound super interesting. It's a little bit sad, of course, that she's gonna be, you know, a Mystic unit or a Moonlight 5-star, because I have 0 luck with that, but who knows? How many Mystics do we have?
Lika,
300.
we have a visitor.
Well, 2 weeks, and then, you know, 5 Moonlights as well. We'll see. Again, I'm more of a glass cannon lover. Might be pretty interesting to put her on arena defense, even though I guess you could just bring a dude with unhealable debuff, but not a lot of meta units have that, I would say. So you'd have to bring like a non-super meta unit. I mean, maybe Sez also could work. Don't think people bring Sez for as unhealable, but I digress. Make sure to tell me what you think in the comments down below. Leaving a like if you happen to enjoy is always greatly appreciated as well. Thanks, as always, for watching, and until next time.